Welcome everybody. My name is Franck Cornu. I'm Microsoft 365 developer and founder of the company named aequos. Today I will show you the latest version of the PnP modern search called the V4. I will go through a quick introduction about the V4 and the PnP modern search solution in general, and jump to the demo for the new features. So first of all, just to start, what is the solution, the PnP modern search for those who don't know already? It's a set of SharePoint Online web parts. It's a solution available for SharePoint Online only. It's a set of web parts allowing to create like highly flexible search experiences within the modern experience, the SharePoint modern experience. So it includes multiple web parts like the search results, search filters, verticals, and the search box. So you can put it together to create a whole search center, for instance. The main goal of the solution is to enhance the capabilities of the out-of-the-box web parts. For instance, the highlighted content web part, which is quite limited right now in the out-of-the-box web parts. So the goal is really to offer you a set of web parts to customize your results the way you want, leverage your information architecture from your project, and build your experience the way you want. So it's an open source solution. It's maintained by the community for the community. So I want to just thank all the people who contributed to this solution since the beginning. So the solution was first released in 2017. So it's a long time. The current version is version 3.16. And today I will show you the new version, which is the version 4 to present you today. So about the version 4, just to get started, there is really a distinction between the V3, the current V3 version, and the V4, since they are not really compatible. The reason is the V3 was like, let's say, old. It's an old code base, so it is quite complicated to maintain and to add new features and so on. So we decided to completely review the architecture. It's very complicated to maintain the V3 right now, so we decided to completely reorganize the code, re-architecture, and also we had to integrate the new Microsoft Search API. So we needed a way to do it correctly in the code, and that's why we took the decision to completely start from scratch, basically, but keeping some features from V3. Not all features from V3 are in the V4 yet. There is a lot of features in the V4, but it's not complete compared to the V3. First of all, if you want to download the latest release, so it's currently in preview. So go to this URL, PnP Modern Search, within the Microsoft Search organization, and you will see the V4 preview. So it's a preview version. It can change. So don't use it for now in your production environment. So just for testing purpose, and it allows us to gather feedback and fix issues before the official release. There is a documentation also available. So we'll just jump into the documentation to give you an overview. So documentation has been completely rewritten. So it's the main documentation of the repo. It targets the V4 currently, but thanks to Michael, we have now a V3 documentation included in the portal. So if you use the V3, you can still see the documentation associated. So just go to the V3 tab here, and you will get the V3 documentation for the current version. Otherwise, the documentation targets the V4. Like I said, the V3 is not compatible with the V4 and will not be maintained in the future except for major issues. But the focus is now on the V4, of course, and the Microsoft Search integration. So let me go back to my slides. So like I said, the documentation is online, so go take a look on this, and your feedback and issues are welcome. If you find any issues, please let us know, especially on the V4. We are trying to to fix a lot of issues before the official release. So feel free to go to this URL and raise your issues. About the new feature, so I tried to summarize all the features we've added to the v4 per web parts. So the first one is the search with the web parts. So basically, like I said, we refactor the old code base to be more modular. And essentially, we added the Microsoft Search API. So now in the web part, in the main web part, you have the SharePoint Search and you have the Microsoft Search API. So I will show you in a minute, but this is really the main difference, I will say. We also added a slot feature to define the field mapping between the layouts and the data source. I will show you also this in a minute. We improved some layouts and added some options. And we support now the Microsoft Graph Toolkit within the template. So for those who already use the PnP Modern Search, you know this is the handlebars templates behind the scenes. So now in the HTML markup, you can use the Microsoft Graph Toolkit, and I will show you a concrete example of that in a few minutes. And also we added a new connection and extensibility options. So basically these are the same web parts, but the way they work together, it's quite different. So I will show you again. Regarding the search filter web part, we added the search with a web part, we added the ability to create templates for filters. So now you have access to the underlying HTML markup. It's an underbar template, just like the search results. So now you can customize this web part as well. And we added new filters and templates for refiners, basically. Regarding the search verticals, it's pretty much the same thing, except the behavior has been refactored. So it's not really the same as before because we had to support the new Microsoft Search data source. So I will show you also. And the search block web part, we added the multiple suggestions provider to the extensibility library. Currently in the v3, you can only add only one suggestions provider. Let's go to the demo and I'll show you all these new features. So first of all, you can download, like I said, the latest release, the Modern Search v4 in the PnP Modern Search repo. There are two SPPKG packages. The first one is the main ones for the web parts, and you have the extensibility one. The extensibility one is like the shared library. It's like an NPM package, if you want, but it contains interfaces and common methods for the core web parts and also the extensibility library that we'll show you later. So for your own extensions. So to use the v4, you have to deploy the two packages. And also, these packages can be deployed at tenant level or site collection level. For instance, here I'm in an isolated site collection, and I have the v4 and v3 together within the same site collection. So you can deploy both versions together without any conflict because they don't share the same IDs, the web part IDs and so on. These are not the same. So that's why I said that these are not compatible. This is really two completely different packages. So you can deploy it together within the same app catalog. So when you deploy this package, you will still have the option to add the web parts on your page. But the difference is, for instance, type search result. As you can see, there are a lot of search result web parts actually, or PnP Modern Search web parts. So you have the new one with the PnP prefix here. This is the new ones, and the old ones are only the search box, search features, and so on. So you can add them both on the page. I recommend you to just use one version on the page for obvious reason, but you can still use the v3 if you want. So I will start with the first one, the PnP Search results, which is the main component of the set. So if I go to the property pane, as you can see, the first choice you have to make is either to use the SharePoint Search or the Microsoft Search API. So if I select the SharePoint Search, this is pretty much the same options we had in the v3 version, except a couple of things like the query text connections to the search bar has been moved to another property pane configuration page. I will show you in a minute. And basically, you have the same option for the data source, and you have a common options for all data sources, like the paging options and so on. So if I go to the new one, I won't go through the SharePoint Search option because this is pretty known stuff. So I will jump to the Microsoft Search API. So this is, for now, this is really simple, very basic. The options we have, basically you can search for entity types. So this is the supported entity types. I suggest you to read the documentation about Microsoft Search. Some of entities are not compatible together, so you have to make sure you have the correct combination between the entities. For instance, the drive items, external item, and so on. And for specific entity types like external items, make sure you authorize the correct permission with your tenant, the API permission, to get this kind of entities. And again, if you have any question about it, it's really, I suggest you to really read the doc on Microsoft Search API. It's all explained what you can do with entities and so on. So the options are pretty, like I said, pretty simple. The selected fields, the drive items. We will add more options in the future, but we want to start with a restrained set of features to begin. And yeah, so the first page, data source, like I said. And if I go back to the next page, we will see the layout. So it's pretty much the same as the V3. We added some options and so on in the layouts. But the next page, yeah, all the connections to other web parts are moved to the connection page. So the search box, filters, and vertical. So you configure all the connection in the same property pane page. So let's say I want to use a query text. I can use a static value or a dynamic value. For now, we'll use a static value. For instance, if I type the wildcard character, as you can see here, it will put the query here. So this query text is used in the Microsoft Search and SharePoint Search data sources, like mentioned here. So it's a little bit different from the V3. So make sure you use the correct option to pass your query text. Another feature that we add is the slot feature. As you can see, you have a layout slot for all data sources. The slots, basically, I will just use another layout to make it more relevant. The layout slots are basically a way to map your fields in built-in layouts, the data source fields in built-in layouts. So let's say you have your data source and you want to use another field for the title slots. So slots are in the built-in layouts, and so this is placeholders, basically. So you can map any data source field on this particular placeholder. For instance, in the title, I can choose to use the name. So it is the response of my search query, or I can choose to use whatever else. And as you can see, I just changed the value dynamically without going in the handlebar templates. So it's a quick way to make like reusable templates between SharePoint Search and Microsoft Search using the slots. And if I go to the specific handlebar template here to see what's going on here, the detail is, for instance, and I go to the column, the specific column here, as you can see, there is a special handlebar helpers that will look up the configure slot and output the result in the column. So you can use it in layout option or in the global handlebar template. Okay, so that is for the slot feature to make your layouts and templates reusable for any data source. Another improvement we've made is the Microsoft Graph integration. So to show you this part, I will just use the people layout and the people data source using the SharePoint Search. So I go to the SharePoint Search, and now I can select a result source. So the default one is people, for instance. So I will just look up for all the people in my organization, and I switch to the people layout. And I have a special option here, show personal card and over. Enable this option. As you can see, enabling this option will see the actual picture and a card, detailed card for all the people. Basically, behind the scene, these are Microsoft Graph Toolkit integration. So to show you the integration, if I go to the template, as you can see here, this is a Microsoft Graph Toolkit integration. So it means you can use this kind of components anywhere within your handlebars template. This is a concrete example, the pre-built example for the people layout, but basically you can inject any context, any data from the handlebar context in your Microsoft Graph Toolkit components. So it's a cool options to create beautiful templates if you want a custom template. But remember, when you use this kind of components, you have to authorize of permissions, for instance, for the people layout. As you can see here, you have to authorize this API permission for your tenants to get it work. So when you will deploy the package, you will be asked to authorize this API permission. These are not mandatory, of course, but if you don't authorize them, this feature won't work, obviously. Okay, so this is for the Microsoft Graph Toolkit integration. Next, for the extensibility option. So, like I said, all the connections are made through the specific page in the property pane. So, I use, for instance, an input query text and static value. But if I want to use a search box, I will just add a search box on my page. Here, it's a one-way connection. So I go to the search result, the connection page, and now I can map the dynamic value. And from here, I can either choose the search box or page environment, for instance, a query string parameter and so on, and inject it to my search result. So this is pretty much the same as V3. You can still use a default value, for instance, during the page load, or grab the value from a search box here. So this is for the search box, pretty simple. Now I will connect another web part, which is the vertical web parts. I will start with the vertical web parts. I will let the filter web parts for the end. The vertical web parts has changed for the V4, so I will add another PnP Search results here. And for instance, I will choose another data source, for instance, Microsoft Search, and I will map to the search box here, to dynamic value, search box, search query. Yeah, great. And then I will add a vertical web parts. So basically, the vertical web parts controls visibility of connected search results web parts. So I can still configure my tabs here. So for instance, here I created a people directory, and here to showcase of Microsoft Search. I can still use an Office React Fabric or Fluent icon name if I want. But as you can see, there is no more query template or such options within the verticals. It's only tabs and a link if you want to redirect to a specific link. So I go there. And now from my search result web parts, I can use these tabs to connect, to control like the visibility. So for instance, the people web part here will only be displayed if the people tab is selected. And this particular web part, the Microsoft Search web part, will be displayed only if the Microsoft Search tab is controlled. And as you can see in edit mode, a message will be displayed saying the current tab is not the one you selected in the web part. So in display mode, this won't be displayed. So if I save my page, you can now build like search experiences here just by clicking on tabs and displaying the correct PnP search result you want according to the tab. So this way you can really build complex queries and layouts for specific tab. This was a limitation for the V3 because the V3 only had the option to configure the query template. So this is an improvement in the V4, it's controlled visibility. And of course, you can map multiple PnP search results to one tab. for now, I just took the example of 1-1 configuration, but you can still map many with search results to a specific tab. So this is for the search vertical. Now I will jump to the other web parts, the filter web parts, the refiner web parts. So I will add it here. PnP filters. This one changed a lot actually, because now you can connect filters from multiple web parts. So it's one-to-many configuration. So as you can see, I have the option to connect the two search results. And as you can see, you have the ID here of the web part. So if you don't know which is the one, the correct one, you can still use the ID. And if you go here on the latest page, you have the instance ID if you want to make sure this is the right web part you connect. Okay, so I go there, I connect my two web parts, and I will edit my filters. So basically, you can use the fields from your data sources. So these are only the fields available in the current response. Okay, for instance, if you created a custom managed property or a refinable string, this won't show up here, and you have to type the field and press enter to use it in the filters. Okay, so this is not the complete list you see here. It's just an help for you to select the right field. So let's say I will use the file type, and I will select a template. So as you can see, these are pretty much the same: checkbox, combo box, and so on. I will use the checkbox for the instance, and a couple of other options: expand by default. And another option is the multi-value control. In the v3 you had one template for multi or single filter behavior. Now you have only one template, but it's an option in the template to select if it's multi-values or not. So if I use the single value here, so I connect it. It's a two-way connection. So I connect from to my search result, and from the search result, I still need to connect to the filter web parts to send actually the refiner to the filter web part. So if I go there, here, and for the other one, I can go there.
You have the people data.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The people don't have file type actually. Yeah, my mistake. Yeah, I will select another data source actually, like SharePoint people results. SharePoint results, much better. Yeah, here we go. Sorry for the dumb the dumb configuration. This couldn't work anyway. Okay, so we'll go to a more friendly layout, like I mentioned. Yeah. So as you can see, you can filter a web part here using the template and the selected field you want, and connect to multiple web parts. So just go through my other configuration quickly. Come on. Just want to show you thing. Okay. And I will connect to the other one. Forgot a lot of things here. Okay, should be good. So I have all my value gathered from my two web parts, and I can now filter my two web parts using the only one filter web part here. So it's a new addition for v4, and I can also choose multi-values, like I said, and the behaviors between the values. So, and is it an AND condition or the OR condition? So if I choose, for instance, OR condition, now you will add the option here to select multiple and apply multiple filters to the to your web parts. So it's a new way to handle filters compared to the v3 configuration. Another things I want to cover in this session, I have only 5 minutes left, so I will go quick, is the extensibility feature. So in the last page, of the configuration, the property pane, you have the extensibility configuration. And from here, if I click to configure, you will see your extensibility library and the manifest ID. So the manifest ID comes from your library SPFX project that you can build to enhance capabilities of the built-in web parts. So in the modern search organization, you have now a PnP modern search extensibility sample. Okay. If you go to the develop branch, it's still work in progress, but you will have SPFX projects here. It's a library component project. And from here, you can add your own extension. Extensions can be custom web components, custom suggestions providers for the search box, custom handlebars, helpers, and we are trying to implement the layouts configuration, the extension layout, so you can use it as a replacement of the custom renderers you had in V3. So basically, it will allow you to add your own tile here within the web part. So to use it, basically, you will have to go on this repository, and I will show you just here. It's a quick demo. This sample provides you some built-in methods that you can just use to register your own components. If you want to know how to do this, in the documentation, you have an extensibility tab here with a step-by-step tutorial to create all kinds of extensions, so web components, suggestion provider, and so on. So the goal is really for you to create like extension in a separate project and use it in the main web part. So this is a cool way to enhance the core web part with your customization and according to your requirements. So you can use it for your own project, and you will be fun as well. I think I've covered pretty much it. I'm running out of time, so a quick recap. Use the V4 preview version from GitHub. Use it in your tenant. Use the issue tab if you have some feedback and issues with the V4, and let us know what you think of this version. And probably this will go out next year, early next year, January probably. We'll still have some issue to fix, but pretty much stable now. But we have some issue to fix. So let us know what you think of this solution. Go back to you, Vesa and Patrick. I think I'm running out of time. So thank you for all.
All right. Thank you very much. Fantastic demo there. Really great to see the progress on the Search Web Parts coming back together. Excited to get that out there for folks. A lot of work has gone into that. A lot of great innovation has gone into that. So great to see that finally getting out there. Encourage everyone to try that, check that out. Let us know what kind of feedback you have.